Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak to every man who believes age is a limit. Let me remind you, age is just a number, but wisdom, presence, and energy are eternal qualities that never expire. Older men, this is your time. Women don't just respond to youth, they respond to strength, self-assurance, and purpose. Women go crazy not for the number of candles on your cake, but for the fire you bring into a room. Let me share with you the 4 powerful things older men do that make women lean in, listen, and fall deeply intrigued. Confidence rooted in experience is one of the most powerful and attractive forces a man can possess. It's not about walking into a room with arrogance or trying to outshine everyone else. It's about showing up with quiet certainty, grounded in the knowledge of who you are and what you bring to the table. As men grow older, life gives them lessons, some hard, some humbling, but every one of them adds to their strength. When a man embraces those experiences and uses them to shape his identity, he carries himself differently. He doesn't need to prove himself anymore because he knows his worth. This kind of confidence is magnetic. It's not loud, it doesn't need to shout, and it doesn't demand attention. It simply commands it. When an older man walks into a room with that presence, that steady posture, calm demeanor, eyes that say, "I've been through storms and made it out stronger," people feel it, women feel it. They don't see someone trying too hard to be noticed. They see a man who knows who he is and who is not afraid of being real. What's powerful about this type of confidence is that it doesn't rely on superficial markers like status, looks, or wealth. It comes from within. It's built from decades of doing the inner work, of failing and rising again, of learning when to speak and when to be silent. This confidence shows up in how a man carries himself, how he treats others, how he stays calm in chaos. And that kind of energy is incredibly attractive because it makes others feel safe and inspired at the same time. Confidence isn't perfection. It's embracing your imperfections and still showing up fully. It's knowing that you've made mistakes, but you've also gained wisdom, and that wisdom becomes your edge. When a man has reached a point where he's not trying to compete or compare, but instead just expresses his authentic self, people want to be around him. He becomes a leader by nature, not by title. Women notice this. They notice how relaxed he is, how he's not chasing anything, but drawing everything toward him. On the other hand, emotional intelligence and deep listening are often overlooked traits, but they hold immense power, especially as men age. A younger man might try to dominate conversations, always trying to prove his point or show how much he knows. But an emotionally intelligent older man really listens. He's present. He doesn't interrupt. He doesn't try to fix everything right away. He understands that sometimes the most powerful thing he can do is give his full attention. When a woman is speaking, and she feels that you're truly tuned into her, not just hearing words, but feeling her emotions, it creates a connection that's rare. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize emotions in yourself and in others, and to respond to those emotions with sensitivity and awareness. It means understanding when someone needs space, when they need encouragement, or when they just need someone to sit beside them in silence. That kind of presence is healing. Older men, by nature of their experiences, often develop this skill. They've seen relationships rise and fall, and they've learned that communication isn't about talking, it's about understanding. Women go crazy when a man can understand without judgment, when he doesn't try to control or fix, but instead supports and empowers. This is what emotional maturity looks like. It's patient, it's kind, and it's strong in a way that doesn't need to flex. When a man combines real confidence with emotional intelligence, he becomes a force. He becomes the kind of man who others respect and women admire. He doesn't just bring strength, he brings peace, clarity, and connection. And in a world full of noise, that's what truly stands out. Purpose and passion are the lifeblood of a man's presence. When a man wakes up in the morning with something to build, something to chase, something to fight for, he carries himself differently. There's a fire in his eyes, a strength in his step, and a sense of direction that you can't fake. It doesn't matter what that purpose is, whether it's leading a business, mentoring others, mastering a craft, giving back to his community, or simply becoming the best version of himself every day. The point is, he knows why he wakes up. He's not drifting. He's not waiting for something to happen. He's making it happen. This kind of energy is deeply attractive. Women sense it immediately. A man who is passionate about life doesn't need to convince anyone of his value. It shows. He becomes magnetic because his energy is focused, his spirit is alive, and his time is precious. He's not aimlessly scrolling through life. He's climbing, growing, evolving. That kind of man inspires others to do the same. He becomes a source of strength and inspiration. Passion gives life color, and when a man lives with passion, he becomes vibrant in everything he does. He speaks with conviction. He acts with purpose. He doesn't sit back and complain about what's missing. He creates what he wants. That creative force inside him becomes a beacon. Women are not just attracted to what he does, but to how he does it, with intensity, with love, with drive. It's not about being a millionaire or a public figure. It's about owning your lane, doing what you love, and showing the world that you're not done growing. A man with purpose doesn't get lost in distractions because he's locked into his mission. His time becomes sacred, his boundaries are firm, his standards rise. He starts choosing people, environments, and habits that support his mission, not derail it. And that clarity creates power. People respect it. Women respect it because a man on a mission is rare and rarity is value. Class and respect are two qualities that never go out of style. In fact, they become more powerful as the world moves faster and becomes more distracted. Class isn't about wealth or fancy clothes. It's about how you carry yourself, how you treat others, and how you move through life with dignity. Respect isn't just about being polite. It's about honoring yourself and those around you with integrity. When an older man brings these traits to every interaction, he becomes unforgettable. Women notice how a man treats people. They notice how he speaks to waitstaff, how he addresses elders, how he carries himself in moments of tension. A man of class doesn't raise his voice to be heard. He raises his presence to lead. He doesn't need to prove his strength through aggression. He shows it through control, patience, and principle. That level of behavior is not only rare, it's powerful. It signals that a man has done the inner work. He's not ruled by impulse or ego. He's led by values. Respect shows up in the small things, opening doors, keeping your word, maintaining eye contact, truly listening, protecting what matters, and valuing a woman for more than just her appearance. It's in the consistency of your character. It's in how you speak when no one's watching and how you act when there's nothing to gain. Women go crazy when they see a man who lives with class and treats people with genuine respect, because it shows that he respects himself. Older men who lead with class and respect are not just appreciated. They're rare gems in a world filled with noise. They create trust, they inspire admiration, and they set a new standard for what it means to be a real man. When a man combines passion for life with a deep sense of respect for others, he becomes more than attractive. He becomes extraordinary. Women respond to presence, not performance. In a world filled with distractions, shallow displays, and people trying to impress, the rarest and most powerful trait a man can offer is his undivided presence. Being truly present means giving someone your full attention without the need to perform, entertain, or win approval. It means you're not checking your phone, you're not mentally somewhere else, you're not rehearsing your next move, you're here, fully engaged, fully aware, fully connected. Presence is about being grounded. It's when a man walks into a room and he's not seeking to take energy, he's bringing it. He's centered, calm, and intentional. When a woman talks, he hears not just her words, but the emotions behind them. He doesn't interrupt to make a clever point or show off his knowledge. He listens, and he understands. That connection creates trust, and trust creates attraction. It's not about dazzling someone with a grand gesture. It's about showing them they are seen, heard, and valued in the moment. Men who rely on performance often burn out because they're constantly trying to earn validation. They're worried about saying the right thing, doing the right thing, or being the ideal version of what they think others want. That's exhausting, and eventually it feels hollow. Presence, on the other hand, is sustainable. It comes from self-acceptance and inner peace. When you are comfortable in your own skin, when you don't feel the need to perform, you allow others to relax around you. You give them space to be themselves. Women sense when a man is truly present. His eye contact is steady. His posture is open. His responses are thoughtful. He's not rushing to get to the next topic or trying to show how much he knows. He's just there, holding space with confidence and compassion. That kind of presence is rare, and in a fast, moving, attention-deficient world, it stands out like a lighthouse in a storm. It shows emotional maturity, it shows strength, and it shows a level of care that goes far beyond superficial charm. Older men possess a unique charm when they embrace their strengths, not their age. The mistake many men make is thinking that getting older is a disadvantage. They try to hide their age, chase youth, or compete with younger men on superficial levels. But real power comes when a man stops trying to be what he was and fully becomes who he is. When he owns his experience, his knowledge, his stability, and his identity, he steps into a level of magnetism that youth alone can never match. A man who embraces his strengths doesn't feel the need to compare himself. He's not in competition with anyone because he's focused on mastering his own lane. He understands that his value isn't in trends, followers, or appearance, but in his depth, his wisdom, and his ability to lead himself and others. That kind of man is rare, and that rarity is what makes him captivating. Women are not drawn to age, they're drawn to the confidence and character that often come with it. There's a charm in a man who knows who he is and doesn't apologize for it. He's experienced enough to handle life's chaos without falling apart. He's emotionally secure enough to be gentle. He's been through enough to offer guidance, not judgment. That's the power of embracing your strengths. You're no longer trying to prove anything because your life speaks for itself. You've lived, you've learned, and you've earned your presence. You're not pretending to be anything, you're embodying everything. Older men who fully step into that energy become magnetic without trying. They inspire respect, admiration, and desire not because they're trying to be something they're not, but because they've become exactly who they are meant to be. That self-awareness, combined with wisdom and emotional control, is one of the most attractive and powerful combinations any man can develop. When a man truly owns his age, his journey, and his strengths, he becomes timeless. So, to every older man out there, stop thinking your best days are behind you. They're not. You're wiser, sharper, more focused. When you carry yourself with confidence, lead with emotional maturity, pursue your passions, and move with class, you become irresistible. Remember, It's not your age, it's your energy. Step into your power. Walk like you know who you are, and the world and the right woman will respond.